Truly pioneering. Find out who Baseball America named their Player of the Year on this week's episode of the Indie Ball Report podcast. Back again, episode number 302 of the Indie Ball Report podcast, and what could very well be the last real show of the year. Next week's the Q&A. So again, Q&A questions, send them in. We're starting to accumulate, which is nice, but could be the last actual news-related show of the year, seeing as this is coming out on 28's the Q&A, and then the next one will be out on January the 4th.
Yeah.
We are cruising through to another amazing year, or at least another year, we should say.
Yeah, let's not overpromise that, huh? I mean, this year was kind of hit or miss depending on, frankly, what podcast you're listening to, and it was probably a rough one if you're listening to this, but hey, who am I? Just a co-host.
We do have some news, some just kind of fun information, I guess, and there's a game at the end of this, so hooray.
Dude, I'm hyped. I'm pretty excited for Deal or No Deal, gonna be honest with you.
I mean, who wouldn't be? This is the Game Show Network episode.
Kind of. We should come up with a crappy game show to reproduce every time. The Deal or No Deal kind of hit when it was good. Deal or No Deal hit for a game that is essentially pick a card. They made it fancy. They made the environment fancy, but that game right there is pick a card, any card, and we'll see if you get a better card. What are we doing? This is a TV show? Why is Howie Mandel here? It won't shake my hand.
Look, you gotta give him some Purell first, but secondly, and more importantly, I never thought about it as just pick a card, but you're 100% right on that. Next week, we will try to go and remake Price is Right.
That was not the music for Price is Right. I thought I had it immediately and did not.
It's more like da-da-da.
Yeah. What was I thinking? Though, you know what one gets replicated a lot, just anybody who's in a couple, especially a married couple, will know what I'm talking about here. It's you just have a stupid thing that comes up whenever something happens in your marriage, and just whenever there's just a mild failure within my marriage, myself or Jackie will drop up. Especially when you're hype, you're oh, that's gonna be great. Oh, we don't have that channel. Wow. No whammy, no whammy. We should play whammy. I don't even know how that game works anymore. It's not even called whammy. That's on me.
Well, let's get to the boring stuff first.
I'm so sorry. Don't get Ryan going on a game show rant.
So how do we do a game? How do we do Indie Ball Big Brother?
Stop.
All right. On to actual news now. Extensions. We have two of them. Both of them are good extensions. So let's get busy with it. First off, on Monday, Lake Erie extended Jared Lemieux to a multi-year contract. Did not say how many years, just multi-year. So I take that to mean 2 or 3. And he will continue to serve as team's manager and head of baseball ops. He came to Lake Erie in 2023. First year's a little rough. Second year made the playoffs and had a good showing in the playoffs too. Got stopped by Washington in round 2, but even still went further than I think a lot of people really expected him to go. So that's always a victory in and of itself.
Yeah, it was a really impressive second year. He was somebody who I think we both like. I think it's fair to say, or at least we like their work. And Jared, that first season was really concerning. And I think we both put out well, it's a rebuild, it's a turnaround. He walked into something that was not a great situation, and you got to fix it. But boy, dude, that's
first year manager too.
Coming in last in that division. They had a worse record than every team except for Empire State, and they had a worse offense than Empire State. I mean, truly shocking behavior on a baseball field. Offense still wasn't great, but they kind of put it together a little bit, and at least they brought pitching to the party that could back it up. I don't think that's a sustainable model, but it's progress. Even if the pitching backslides a little bit, he might have something to work with moving forward. So it's a great call. He obviously shows he can at least handle himself with a roster and sort of be a net positive on an organization like that. So huge.
Absolutely.
No brainer on the extension, I think.
Exactly. Off the bat, I don't think you're going to get a much better guy in there on that short of notice. So love it for that. alone. I will also say I like his vision. I think there's some more work that needs to be ironed out. Obviously, the batting still isn't good. It's something we critiqued when we did the review, and it's something we critiqued throughout the season. And it's obviously something that bit him in the ass in the postseason. But that being said, they didn't assemble a hell of a pitching staff, and getting that much pitching to be that good on that consistent of a basis throughout the whole season is very impressive. Moreover, that team, I think you can still bring a lot of guys back on. I think you can still have 1 to 2 years with that group before you have to really start to reassess your roster construction. So to bring him back to see out the rest of that group at the minimum is a good decision. And I know I personally have not heard any complaints about him. So clearly there's something going there. He also has a built-in network too to work with, which I think is something that's very important. That's one of the things we criticize a lot of first-year managers for, and then guys who, stick around for longer than just a year or two, is you got to build up that network. You need to have connections in the game so that way you can find these guys that may not work on a level above you, or they may be exceeding on the level below you, so that way you can keep it moving. I really do like him as an option there in Lake Erie, and I think it is the right decision there on both fronts.
Mm-hmm. He seems to fit the vibe, and he's rising to sort of the unique challenge that comes with Lake Erie, and also like they do seem committed enough to winning where it's not wasting his time with that commitment. So I think it's good.
Yes, absolutely. There, I do wonder, because we have talked to people from the Lake Erie, I guess the analytics staff, or what there is of it. I wonder how much he incorporates that in building, because he is a bit of a younger guy, but that doesn't normally. I shouldn't say it doesn't normally. It doesn't always mean that instantly an analytical approach is what's going to be taken there.
I don't know if I don't know. I'm sorry I didn't have much else to add on that. I was just like, now I'm going to think about it.
It's something that I'm curious about, because I feel like, particularly with pitching, underlying numbers help find you guys a little bit easier.
Yeah. I don't know. It's such a unique thing to have such a lack of hitting and such an abundance of pitching that because on one hand it feels like an easy solution, which is just a swap and make it so you have average hitting and still above average pitching. But then there is that complicated thing of like, pitching is so hard to come by. Like, if you miscalculate a little bit with these moves, it might bite you immediately. And it either by having too little pitching or too little hitting still, and then also giving up your pitching for that. And then on the other side too, it's the Frontier League is such a unique challenge, because the Frontier League, with the roster limitations the way they are, which are slightly more aggressive than the American, and certainly the Atlantic, which is just a salary cap, you run into the issue of like, if you don't map out whatever move you want to make here, like a couple years down the line, it could work out year one, and then year two, you're like, well, would still be nice to have, this guy and this guy, but here we are. Or maybe the guy you trade for ages out, or whatever the case may be, and you're just stuck. And you can't overthink it because it's so unpredictable, especially with like signings or whatever. Like, you get a young guy because you're going to have him, in the league for a while, and then they get signed because they're a young guy, so it bites you. But it's still a little.
You got to find that mid-age, that like nice 24, 25-year-old guy.
Yes. So it's a lot. I could see it almost being a situation where it's like a paralysis by analysis type of thing. So I'm curious to see what the move is from here. But
that, and with pitching, it's such a delicate proposition. You don't want to spook the racehorse.
Yeah,
that is something of interest. Definitely something I'm curious about. But yes, any event, going to the second extension, I suppose. Michael Schlatt will now be extended in Missoula through 2030, or remain as the team's manager. He's been with the team since 2021. Again, love the move. He's a very competent leader there. A guy I really like. I think he's the exact kind of person you'd want to play for, which is just, I think, the most ringing endorsement I can give. And he fits in Missoula very well. Would like to see a little bit more in the postseason, but hey, but if you're going to be competitive every year, and the gripe and the complaint is, but the last like 5 games of the year aren't what we want them to be. that's, in the grand scheme of things, a good problem to have.
I'm just going to channel my inner Paul Feinbaum show from my Iron Bowl lineage. Michael Schlack can't win the big one, Paul. He can't win the big one. Yeah, I mean, say that all you want, but like absolutely nobody has had in a league
that kind of
where
success.
The roster restrictions are tight. The towns are small. It can be a very hard place to keep morale and vibes in a spot where like guys want to come back and play for you.
Yeah.
It is so valuable to have what he's got going on. I mean, have they had the best record in the league 4 years in a row?
Believe so. I believe in the article that's linked in the show notes, it said he is 230 and 100 in his tenure.
Best 2021, they had the best record in the league by 8 games, 7.5 games, call it. 2022, best record in the league by 7 games. 2023, he put up the best record with Missoula in the league by 12 games, call it 11.5 games, I guess. And 2024, best record in the league by, I think it was a little bit of a nail biter this year, 5 games. So that's one way to do it, my guy. Beyond that, he seems to truly love Missoula. He seems to truly love the experience of coming out there and handling business every year. The unique thing is the guys really seem to like playing for him. I'm not going to name names. I don't know what's public, what's not, but I know of at least one American Association player. Pioneer League has extended, by the way, their roster rules to expand for another year. And I know of at least one player who had a contract for the American Association. And when it became clear that he could return to Missoula for another year, chose to return. So we're talking about instead of going, that's a 2-league jump. And he said, yeah, I'll keep me in Missoula. Now there's a lot of reasons for that. We can go into another time, but the Pioneer League is making a run in the tiers of indie ball right now, to potentially challenge some of these other leagues, mostly the Frontier League. And Missoula and in fact, Michael Schlack is a large part of that, which is crazy to think that one person can really pull that kind of weight, but that's who he is. So if you can put him in a contract till 2030, that is crazy and you should do it.
Yeah. If you can lock him up, you lock him up.
Yep. Plus no drama, man. Like I rarely hear drama out of Missoula. That's huge.
Exactly. It's just well ran top to bottom. Western Quebec, if you would. Well, they're not quite there. I guess they're more. Who would be the Eastern Missoula? Perpetually good. Washington. Perpetually good in the regular season, struggle in the postseason. But they're well ran. You don't hear complaints. Yeah,
I think that's fair. I think Missoula even does it more consistently just on the one step back Washington recently had. It's just saying something. That's saying more about Missoula than Washington.
Great organization, top to bottom. And I'm interested to see what the Pioneer League does. Because they're making their play now. So.
Yeah. We'll see. They're definitely going to challenge. I mean, they're paying more than other leagues. They're bumping the age limit up. They're getting more guys signed. Talk about that. The complete lack of signings coming from the Frontier and All-American this year. So different conversation, but it will be a conversation moving forward. And it's definitely something to watch this year to see how things start to sort of, will they course correct or will this continue?
Speaking of paying more, that brings us to our next story here, which is Grand Junction.
All right.
Yes. In October, we heard they were fearing a possible relocation because the team was requesting financial assistance to help with their operating expenses. Approximately $100,000. That was the number that they were throwing out there. And there was 2 cities that were interested in taking the team at the time if they couldn't get any sort of assistance. This past week, they reaffirmed their commitment to Grand Junction for the 2025 season. They were made a point to emphasize the 2025 season. They said they revamped the concessions. They were doing some work around the ballpark and were really going all out on it. They want to be in Grand Junction was the main point and message. Simultaneously, this week, we also heard that there will be a new team coming to Pueblo, Colorado. That's going to be managed by the Pueblo Sports Management and Entertainment Group. And they're going to play out of Rawlings Field on the CSU Pueblo campus. There has not been a league announced yet, and there's no branding announced yet, but it does appear as though there is one that's agreed upon. It's just behind an NDA. So the goal is to get a team in Pueblo and playing by spring of 26. So whilst I'm not saying Grand Junction sticks it out here in 25 and then moves to Pueblo in 26, it, both being in Colorado, there's a line you can draw there that may be fair. So I guess on that note, address the Grand Junction part first, and then we move to Pueblo second.
Yeah. So Grand Junction. So this all started because they put out a post on Instagram that was just like, we're staying Grand Junction. And most people are like,
we never were asked
okay.
about that, but okay.
About it, but okay. But apparently this stems from an issue where, and I'll just read from some local news articles I've been tracking down. So the owner, Mike Tollin, who recently took over, and I believe he said some things about being very committed to Grand Junction when he took over. Yes. They've done a very nice job sort of getting the tone here. By the way, the tone in the local articles are just like, you can tell they don't like them. You can just tell a little bit, Mike Tollin expressed concern over the team's future during a recent Grand Junction City Council meeting, requesting financial assistance to cover an estimated $100,000 in operational costs. As the only professional sports team in the community, he said, it would be tragic to see us leave. Whoa, first of all. I'd hate this nice team you got here that I just took over. Wouldn't it be a shame if I took it away?
Yeah. I just want to run it with me and my son.
Tollin, a lifelong baseball fan, purchased the team last year with his son. My dream was to own a baseball team with my son. Now he's working with the Jackalopes. We even made a film this past year, which represents my view of why baseball is so ingrained in the American life. I want this team to be an integral part of the community. Less filming, more business, dude. Wake up.
But Kelly Dugan was here and we had to do something for his retirement tour.
I do love the Duke. Different, though. Despite his passion, Tollin has faced financial challenges, including difficulties filling seats despite lowering ticket prices, incorporating on-field promotions, and introducing in-seat food ordering. Hey, just treat fans well. Like, treat fans well and learn how to market. It's not that easy, of course, but make sure the people who show up want to come back. It doesn't make sense. Council member Anna Stout, what guarantee is there down the road? Anna Stout, you queen. You nailed that. No one on the council felt comfortable giving them a significant amount of money without a business plan or other details. You showed up without a plan, big dog. Okay.
Can I just pause you right there for that? Can we just talk about how you showed up to ask for money, hat in hand, tin cup out, and they're like, okay, well, can you tell us what you'll do with the money? And the answer was no.
Trust me.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
And it's worth noting, by the way, he's had a very successful career. I assume he's got good money. He was the executive producer on The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan documentary.
Oh.
Other career highlights include radio. I'm going to stop you right there. Radio is not a highlight. Stop doing that. Cuba Gooding Jr. acting like he has a disability is not what we're doing. Coach Carter, fair. Hank Aaron chasing the dream, questionable. Varsity Blues, okay, I'll listen. He also involved with Smallville, One Tree Hill, all that, Keenan and Kel. Wild Hogs, well, that's not great. Good Booger, we're back. Big Fat Liar, okay. Bronx is Burning. So look. Oh, he's from Havertown, Pennsylvania. You could have just told me you were rich, baby boy. His father played for Haverford College. That tracks. Tollin has a passion for sports and remains fiercely loyal to his Philadelphia teams. Cute. He attended Haverford High School. Just say you have money. And graduated from Stanford. Just say you have money. What I'm telling you is Mike Tollin has cash. Or he should. If he doesn't, he's a bad businessman. The type who would show up without a business plan. Mike Shapiro, president of the Pioneer League, who I believe is friends with him, by the way.
Yes.
I wonder how Mike got a team. Echoed Tollin's concerns. Quote, Mike has suffered significant losses this year. He said, hey, league president, don't lead with that about a team in your league. Pro tip. From the league's
But he
perspective,
needs
it's
them to get money.
unsustainable. What, dude? Didn't you just expand into Colorado? What do you mean it's unsustainable? A team has to, at the very least, break even. Buddy, tell it to yourself. What do you have?
Here's the one thing I will say about that. If you're trying to shake down a local city government as though you're in part of a protection racket, you don't leave with, we're making a lot of money, we're doing great financially, give us more cash. You threaten them by like, look, we're not doing well, we're going to have to leave.
But you don't, but as the league president, bro, I get he's your friend. You can't come out and say that teams are struggling that badly. It's just a bad look. No one's going to want to come in this. And
well,
by the way,
that's just them.
I'm going to need to keep rolling because I'm in the beginning of this because I have 2 additional points in all this.
Okay.
The Jackalopes, the article says Jackalopes ended their season last year, finishing last in the Pioneer League. He says, quote, there are 2 other cities willing to court the team if Grand Junction can't. That's what Tollin said. If someone in the community wants to pick up the $100,000 bill and put their name on the team, I'm sure the doors are open, but we don't have that kind of money in town anymore, says Balefus. Hilarious. We're going to keep moving because it's not done from here. Now to December. Grand Junction has an independent baseball team for at least another season. The Grand Junction Jackalopes temporarily laid to rest the rumors on Tuesday with the Post, yada, yada. Let's see. The City Council rejected multiple propositions from the club. City Council unanimously rejected the club's proposal to add 3 more fireworks games to 2025, which would have brought it to total. It sold to 6. Just the tone of the article gets so good. The Jackalopes averaged a reported attendance of 1,655 in the 2024 season, second worst in the Pioneer League. Each of the 3 fireworks games eclipsed that total. Each of their 3 fireworks games also had reported attendance higher than the season average. However, council member Anna Stout, she's back, said the negative impact of the shows on the surrounding neighborhood was too great. Stout represents the district that includes Lincoln Park and was on Lincoln Park. Anyway, on the city council when the city previously lowered the number of annual fireworks shows. I get it. As someone who I can hear the fireworks from the Reagan Phillies from my house, and I'm like 5 miles away. The council also denied a request from request for subsidies for the club that ran tab of over $102,000. Within that was $79,000 of full or partial rent abatement at the field, about $25,000 in usage fees for Alpine Bank Junior College World Series, and an abatement of alcohol fees. On top of that, the Jackalopes asked for their annual rental fee to be a flat $75,000 and rise no more than 3% per year. The requests we've made are all very measured. I think they're very, very restrained, Tollin said at the meeting. And believe me, this is not with the intent to try to turn this into a moneymaker. This is a quality of life thing. But I thought the problem was just money. Anyway, where's Mike Shapiro? He's back in this article. His son Jackson works for the Jackalopes. Obvious. It seems like a bit of an exchange here.
His kid worked for the league for a minute too.
Tollin has produced major feature and documentary films from radio. So funny we're leading with that. To The Last Dance. He said the October meeting that he's working on a documentary about small town baseball. I would like to call the film Grand Junction. Oh, because you're so passionate about the city, Mike. I've made a lot of documentaries. That's my day job. I think the film will gain a lot of attention. I think it will do for the Grand Junction Jackalopes what Bull Durham did to the Durham Bulls. Mike, settle down. You produced radio. Shut up. So dumb.
First off, can I just say here, I better hope that was not some Miles Wolf assurance when you dragged his club into this shit by mentioning Durham. Because he should climb down from his home in beautiful Quebec to just bitch slap him before going back to French Canada.
I'm definitely going to be doing a video about this issue because it's so stupid. It's so dumb. I'm just going to hit the last article here real quick. Just some highlights. It's challenging year both on and off the field in 2024. We had concerns about future viability. Other options were explored. However, owner Mike Tollin has been clear in his desire to not move the club and instead do everything in our power to make this team a success in Grand Junction. Oh, has he been? Shut up.
Why is everyone in this league making documentaries?
Grand Junction's a baseball town. Is it? We have a tremendous following of diehard fans, yada, yada. Let me see here. The team. In 2025, we're going to a new approach with regards to fan experience without dramatically increasing prices. This includes a reworked concessions menu with a strong emphasis on quality and unique items, increased fan interaction and experiential elements such as ordering from your seat, new seating options, including brand new air-conditioned suites with food and drinks included. Not the worst look there. I'll give them that. I would say just make it so when a kid is asked where he wants to go for his birthday, that little boy or girl says he wants to go to a Grand Junction game. He wants to go see the Jackalopes because
hold on. What would the parents say? But we can't. Your birthday's in December.
Well, that's tough. That's how that happens sometimes. But hey, you can do off-season birthdays. The last point I will give 2 points. I'm so sorry. This went longer than I meant to. Is on the topic of success and what makes you successful. I saw an old throwback post from the Wilmington Blue Rocks, where I used to work, where I used to go as a kid. The Wilmington Blue Rocks posted just an old picture of a dad and son looking at the lineup listed for the day back in, I think, 98. And that lineup has Carlos Beltran in it. That lineup has D. Brown, who, if you are a sicko, you might know D. Brown, Brandon Berger, Chad Durbin, World Series winner with the Phillies, my team, the Phillies. Yet my number one thing I said was, oh my God, Gary Coffey. Gary Coffey is playing first base that night, batting eighth, likely should have been batting ninth, if I'm honest. Hit under 200. And when I tell you, as a kid, I was obsessed with Gary Coffey. I was obsessed. I loved Gary Coffey. And in a ballpark full of people who were there to not see Gary Coffey, because he was obviously a first baseman who was just trying to fight to stay in single A, the little kid who insisted on keeping going back to games so he could see Gary Coffey. And you know what Gary Coffey made sure happened? Every time he could, he came over, got a picture with me, picked me up, walked around the warning track with me. He was massive. I was a little kid. To this day, I remember Gary Coffey.
Gary, cup of coffee.
Bring the families into the experience as much as possible. I'm not saying it's not what they're doing. I'm not queening with their business that way, but start there and end there, and you might have a shot. To my further point, the Pioneer League is in financial trouble. That is a further evidence. We've seen Ogden talking about it publicly on LinkedIn through the owner. We've seen NOCO having issues with owing a ton of money. Grand Junction's asking for money. I know Yuba ate it last year. I know Oakland ate it last year. Now, of course, their owners say they're fine with that. Okay. I'm hearing also there are other teams that are really taking a bath financially. It sounds like a lot of owners did not know what they're getting into from an overhead standpoint on indie ball, going from minor league to indie ball. It's something to watch because we just complimented the Pioneer League being great and really making big strides, even making a run at the Frontier League. But it won't happen if everyone's bankrupt. So something to watch there. Thank you. I'm so sorry. That went way longer than I meant to, but I'm very passionate about the Grand Junction story.
There was a lot of points in there where I wanted to say something, but you were kind of rolling. So
thanks, man. I appreciate that.
I will say, I do like how you've done a little bit of a cut into the firework night thing. And as soon as you're like, I can hear fireworks from my house, I'm 5 miles away. I was like, yeah, now imagine the poor people in Franklin, Wisconsin.
Yo, nice.
But secondly, whilst I'm looking at the 1998 Wilmington Blue Rocks, the first thing that comes up is 1998 Wilmington Massacre. So don't know about that. But thirdly, yeah, it's a tricky situation here. And I got to be honest, the second you started reading that second article, I was pretty convinced that these guys are going to Pueblo.
Yeah, dude, sounds like it. Sorry I didn't touch on the Pueblo thing, but I think it's the natural thought. Though, if I'm really thinking about it, very likely Pueblo, because while this guy's saying, oh, we have 2 other locations, which do you sure? If I'm the league president who's buddies with him, I'm certainly working a deal with Pueblo and even saying to them, I don't need to fill it with a new owner. I have an owner. Is he a deadbeat who can't pay his bills now? Possibly, but we'll see. Anyway, I don't think they're going to hire me.
I don't really think I have too much to add. I mean, like, it's unfortunate the Grand Junction is going down a road that's not too great. I will say, though, the next team that comes in there, whether that be Summer College, which is very possible, or Pecos League, I hope they do make a documentary that says for Grand Junction and really takes a page out of the Oakland book, because we got a serious problem with documentaries in this league.
Yeah, man. Um,
Also, as an aside, real quick, in
Mhm.
case you're wondering what Gary Coffey, he gave up the game in 93. Or
Yeah.
98. He
Yep.
gave up 23. He only played 16 games in Wilmington. In 98, he played over 100 games, though, there in 97.
Yep. Oh, yeah, dude. And I mean, I will say this. When he connected, he connected. Big Dog could hit a homer that threatened 95.
This man should have been an Evansville Otter.
I mean, he had home run derby potential. That's fine. Stole some bags, which is crazy, honestly. 6'3", 250, you're swiping bags here and there. Funny. Yeah, man. I love, and I remember, I believe in 98, right? So I just became obsessed in 97. That's really when I sort of became aware of, I was like, oh, I live for baseball. Understood. If I recall, when he was with the team in 1998, I came back, saw him. I think he might have done a back and forth with Lansing.
Yes,
it doesn't say he did. I think he went Wilmington, Lansing, Wilmington again. And I remember like we canceled plans to go back and see Gary Coffey again, because I think my dad had the awareness to be like, I think this is our last Gary Coffey trip. And it's damned if he wasn't right, but I'm Facebook friends with Gary Coffey to this day.
Isn't that something?
Full circle, baby. Come on now.
As far as Pueblo goes, it's interesting. I'm always kind of suspect on college stadiums, but it definitely can work in the right situation. I think in the league like the Pioneer League, there's less of a, I guess, emphasis on that kind of a thing. So as long as it's a quality venue, what's the harm, right?
Sure. I mean, honestly, and compared to some of the other things we got going on in the Pioneer right now.
Exactly. Like that's real minor. The only thing that I would say would hold this up would be if, and this is a big if, it's not NDA. If it's specified which league, then we may be, saying whatever to this. It may not matter. That's about all I got for Colorado baseball. It's a very interesting situation. And yeah, I'm sure in about 8 months from now, we'll be, no, a little bit more than 8, probably close to 9 or 10 months, we'll be talking about this again.
Yeah, probably, if Frost.
Yeah. All right, some miscellaneous odds and ends that we got to get to before getting to deal or no deal, as my dog starts spazzing out in his sleep. So, keeping on terms of the Pioneer League, their tryouts have been announced. They have announced 3 camps, one in Florida, one in Arizona, and a midseason camp that's going to be in Ogden. The first one is the Florida camp, February 21st through 23rd in Davenport, Florida. It's near Orlando. Orlando, of course, of Book of Mormon fame. 12 guaranteed roster spots. Will run you $600 to participate. Arizona camp is April the 15th through 17th in Scottsdale. Of course, of Biz Nasty parking lot fight fame. 12 guaranteed roster spots, $600 again to participate there. And then midseason camp is going to be from July the 19th through 20th. That's going to be in Ogden, Utah, of course, of actual Mormon fame. And there are no guaranteed roster spots there, but it's only $300 for that one.
Yeah. As always, I just encourage guys, if you're listening, or girls, frankly, because Kelsey Whitmore went through the tryout process as well. And so did Scrappy, actually. She was actually from the tryouts as well. But anyway, to really weigh your situation, decide if that money is money you can spend, is it worth the risk? Understand how many people might be showing up, how many people will be getting signed. And then if you're going for it, I always encourage guys to make the most of the opportunity. If it's, to not make the most, that's not really what I mean, but like to give yourself the best opportunity. If you have video, reach out, introduce yourself via email to my coaches you can beforehand. Say, I'm looking forward to seeing you there. So at least they got something in their head. They might not open the email, but there's a chance they do. And then you got it. Don't take too much of their time. You're no longer going to message. Just say, hey, understand their time is valuable and everyone's some patience the offseason. So that's my thought. I always get hesitant on promoting, spending a whole bunch of money for a tryout, but if it's for you, it's for you. So give it a thought.
Exactly. Yeah, think. Should I spend $600 on this tryout, or Could I cook up a tasty parlay instead?
Or buy like 100 Gary Coffee cards.
Dude, you couldn't quite buy 100. You could probably buy 90.
What a deal.
You can't beat that kind of savings.
Just can't. Who knows what they could be going for in the future?
Exactly. They may be worth $5. They may be worth 50 cents. Who's to say? That's why you should really put your retirement savings into these Gary Coffee cards. The nasal flare is like, this is a great investment.
All right, where are we at here?
Moving on from the tryouts, we have, I guess, the focus of the cold open this week. Adam Fogel has been named the Baseball America Indie Ball Player of the Year. First player from the Pioneer League to win this award. I guess actually first non-American association or Atlantic Leaguer to win this. I think it's always been them prior. Maybe a Frontier League guy way back, but if so, I'm unaware of it. Either way, Fogel hit 388, 495, 773 with 35 home runs this past season. By far the best player in the Pioneer League this past season. I will say, while I do agree, I think he had a tremendous season, I am kind of surprised that Baseball America went that way on it. I kind of expect them to keep it with like the big two and pick someone from there. Although I understand not going the American Association route, because while Teeter won that MVP, I'm still a believer in Matalovich, and I understand I'm in the minority. I don't care about your fancy stats. That was a great pitching performance. So I get that. As far as the Atlantic League goes, I really isn't a standout guy. I think you can make a case for 2 or 3 different guys over there. So I guess it not being some sort of uniform decision like it has been in the past where there's 1 or 2 guys and they're both from the top 2 leagues makes it a little bit easier to go a little off the map this year.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like it. It showcases these other leagues, and it's great from the Pioneer League to get some good press out of this deal.
Yeah. I mean, again, it depends what we're defining as best player, right? Like, or player of the year. It wasn't best player, it's player of the year. So, like, I kind of take that as like almost like the man of the year type of award where it's like, who was the guy? And I mean, no one dominated their league the way that Adam did this year. I mean, it was, I'm just trying to pull the numbers real quick, but it's like, basically, I've said this before. At the end of the year, I put everybody on like a scale where 100 is average, and it allows you to kind of compare everybody, at least within a league. The top, I mean, he really, as far as hitters went, like the best batter in the league. I mean, Gomez did have a hell of a year, but like he had a 43-point higher batting average. Like the only guy I had close was Gomez and Matthews, and they weren't close at all to what he ended up doing. Like OPS is not even within 120 points. Like, what are we doing? He had the best OPS by 88 points. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Adam. Were we interrupting something you were doing? Like, because it's just how are you?
Yeah, I'm looking just across all these other teams here across the.
I mean, no one.
The various other leagues, and it's like, well, I don't really know who else I would say was that much better here. I mean, like, I feel like Teeter probably would have been the next guy up in that regard. 100 games he played, had very good numbers, but I mean, he wasn't runaway in any one thing, really. I mean, OPS, I'll give him that. He had a sizable lead, but not the same size.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just comparing even just by OPS, like, really nobody had an OPS lead opened up on everyone else the way that he did. I mean, 80 points. Everyone else is around the 40-point mark at best. So he's like twice as dominant. So, yeah, it was a year. It's hard to argue. I mean,
yeah,
based on what he's doing. And I will also say it is in an improving Pioneer League where yes, offense is still very strong, but it's not like Teeter did have a pretty wide margin on everyone else, though. I guess I'll give him that. I'd say he was probably the only competition there, but even just from
the only other guy that I think could have stole that from him, and this isn't a hypothetical, of course, but if Christian Santana was stayed the full year, I think he would have been on pace to take that from, because he had 13 home runs in 35 games. The OPS, yes, that was extremely high as well. I mean, he was
35 homers. He was homering 10% of his at bats, dude. Vogel.
Yeah,
I know it's the Pioneer League, but it's not. It's Missoula. It's not that crazy.
I hear what you're saying here. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna, besmirch his season, but like what Christian Santana did through 35 games.
Yeah, I know. And that was where I was too with it, of like, you got to weigh the season long product thing. It's hard to give a year's worth award to a guy who was there for a month.
That's the thing.
Half. Yeah. I think that was one of the most dominant 35 game stretches I've ever seen. But
yeah.
I don't know what to even say about what he was doing. I mean, hit 423 and 142 at bats and was just like, deuces, I'm out.
Yeah, because he was on pace for what?
About 782. Go to jail next time, dude. Don't come out here and commit crimes.
Like, that's the thing. Like, what's getting me is just like the counting stats. He was on pace for 45 home runs or so, and how many RBIs? Right. Really, right? Like 47 times. This be about 3.
He was on pace for 47 home runs, which is one Courtney Hawkins Player of the Year, I believe, in the past. Did he win one? Yeah, he did.
Yes, he did. With Lexington.
Hawkins is such a monster. I'm so mad he got hurt in Charleston this year.
Dude, what was his RB? What was Santana on pace for RBI wise? Because he had to be close to 170.
Oh, yeah. Hold up. I'll run that real quick. Good call.
Yeah. Because he had 47 when he left, so he was averaging over 1 a game.
Oh, he was on pace for 169 in 126 games. So that's one way to do that.
So essentially, it's just like, okay, he's gonna drive home at least 1 run a game, probably 2 most games.
Should be illegal, but
he's just averaging about a home run every 3rd game, and it's probably gonna be a 2-run shot.
I mean, he was just hitting nukes too, and like, look, pitch. Oh, Lancaster's a pitcher-friendly park. Like, all right. And it's still insane. Donovan Casey, by the way, shout out to what Donovan Casey did in 80 games this year.
Oh yeah,
348 average, 973 OPS. I mean, the OPS
really could have been a compelling case too had he stayed another 40 games.
Yeah, his slugging needed to be there a little more, but at least for me. But
I mean, in fairness though, if he does want a Triple Crown in that league, he probably walks with because he would have only been the 2nd player in the Atlantic League's history to win Triple Crown.
So by what I'm seeing as runs created here, oh good Lord, is that accurate? I'm going to have to check this math again because it doesn't even feel right. Keon Barnum led the league in runs created, sitting around 116.
Okay.
Santana was on pace for, what did he play, 35 games?
Yes.
189.
I was gonna say I was expected to be around 2.
It's unreal. Also, Keon Barnum kind of really rolled up a season, man.
Yeah.
301, 436, 15. That'll play. Anyway, but yeah. In summary, Adam Fogel, it's hard to take it from him. There's some great players in every league, but Adam Fogel really did something we haven't really seen over a sustained period of time in the Pioneer League. Even compared to other people in a very hitter-friendly league, it was pretty impressive. Like, it was kind of like must-watch.
Yeah, he was a standout hitter among standout hitters.
Yes.
Do we know if he's signed to go back to Missoula? Or
yes, he is. Wait, hold on. Let me do a double check. I'll do a double check. He might not be. I saw. It's funny if you post a graphic with a guy on it, I will be like signing, and I was like, wait, no, that was literally him winning the award that we just saw, where we were just talking about.
Which can we just say, as a former Kentucky ball player, Lexington.
Adam Fogel.
Let's get him in there.
Adam Fogel acquired from the Ottawa Titans in exchange for a player to be named later. Interesting. I wonder if this was
started in Ottawa.
Dang. Did he?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. We are way back in the early, we're December 7th last year.
There we are.
My thought was, I wonder if he signed something and did the back and forth again. Yeah, but I was wondering if he like went back to Ottawa and then did the back and forth after like, some, like we had talked about earlier with another Missoula player. But no notes on him so far. But
okay. So I believe he's going to be 26. So I don't know if that means he will be back or if that means he is going to look to go elsewhere.
All right, let's do this thing. What else we got?
Last piece of news before we get to our good old Deal or No Deal game. This one will be quick. The American Association and RYZ have a broadcasting deal. RYZ will stream 2 games a week during the regular season and the Baseball Champions League, as well as the American Association playoffs on their network. You can currently find RYZ on Samsung TV and starting the new year, Xumo Play through Google Play.
How about that?
I've never heard of that before, so I guess good for them.
Yep. Good for everyone involved. I guess. Probably. Maybe.
How about that? All right, let's go to Deal or No Deal. Let's have some fun now.
Let's go. Who's going first?
Well, first let's explain the game, and then we will go from there.
Though I do believe we're playing slightly different games, so we might need 2 explanations, but I'll let you do your thing.
Okay, so how about this? I'll explain mine first, and then when you go, then you can explain yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Excellent. So, for at least my version of Deal or No Deal, we're going to have 10 names on the board. The deal is 10 cases. I'm going to let Ryan know here each of the 10 players. Then he's going to pick a number 1 through 10 that's going to be his case. Then in round 1, he's going to pick 5 other cases. We're going to open them, and at the end of it, I'm going to play the role of the banker, and I'm going to offer him a different player. It's not going to be one that he's named. It's not going to be one that's still on the board. It's someone that has not been involved in the game to this point. He can either choose to accept the player I'm offering him, in which case the game will end and we'll see who he had originally picked, or he can decline that and we'll go to round 2, where he'll pick another 4, and then again at the end, I'll offer him a deal. He takes it. Great. Game over. If he doesn't, we go to round 3, where he'll get a choice to either pick to swap his player or to keep his player, which actually round 2 is only going to have 3 because I can't do math correctly.
I was going to say, I just did that math for the first time. We talked through this before, and I was like, yeah, sounds good to me. And now I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I was like, oh, wait, no, that's 9. That doesn't work right. Yeah, so he'll pick 3 in round 2. Everything I was saying is the same, though. So pick 3 in round 2, make the deal, don't make the deal. Doesn't make the deal. He gets a choice to switch with the last remaining case or keep his own. Either way, we'll find out who he picked. So the objective for this particular game, this individual instance, will be to get the guy with the most individual home runs this year.
Okay.
So, that said, in random order, here are the 10 players you have on the board. You have Cornelius Randolph, John Cristiano, Keon Barnum, Andy Atwood, Orgianu, Max Murphy, Jose Sermo, Austin Dennis, Clinton Frazier, and Mika Yonamine. What number would you like, sir?
Let's see. I only got down 4 of those names, so that didn't. No, 5 because I just remembered Jose Sermo.
Okay, who are the 5 that you have?
I got Randolph, Barnum, Murphy, Frazier, Sermo.
Okay, you have Anu, Atwood, Cristiano, Yonamine, Dennis, and Murphy.
This feels like Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Let's see. What number? Okay,
Yeah.
tough question there.
1 through 10.
1 through 10.
Yes.
Oh God. Okay.
And those names were given to you in no particular order.
Got you. 5.
Picking 5. Okay. All right. So let the games begin. Give me 5 cases to take off the board.
Okay, one at a time.
One at a time. Yes. You could
Okay.
go ahead and just give them to me. I could either take it off then, or we could wait until the end of the round.
Okay. Let's go with. Okay, I'm going to go with 3.
Take 3 off the board. Okay. Case number 3 contained Andy Atwood, who had 10 home runs last year.
Okay. Feel good about it.
All right.
I'll go case 10.
Case 10 contained Max Murphy, who had 17 home runs last year.
Slow year for him, all things considered.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go case 7. Kind of want to heat it right now.
Case 7 contained Mika Yonamine, who had 24 home runs.
Ooh, damn. All right. That's a tough one to take off the board.
3rd highest, so it just went off the board.
3rd highest. Good to know. Okay.
Yes.
Case 1.
Case 1 contained Orji Anu, who had 13 home runs last year.
Okay, dude.
1 more this round.
All right. Case 9.
Case 9 contained Clint Frazier, who had 6 last year.
That was a good round for me.
Yeah, it was. I was really hoping that you'd go ahead and slip up.
This is like Minesweeper, except it's just random. Actually, it's not like Minesweeper at all. It's something. It's a strategy to Minesweeper.
All right, let's see. Who will I offer you? Because you still do have some big hitters on the board.
Yeah, I do. You got to kind of give me something good here.
Exactly. So I will offer you to leave the game right now. I will offer you Rusper Estrada.
Oh, you know I love Rusper Estrada, though.
Yes, that is exactly
big dog. He had what?
Let's see 22 home runs.
Oh, come on. I was going to guess 24. I think 23 or 24. So I don't know what I'm thinking of. I had it was close there.
Yes.
Let me see here. I'm just trying to think what I got. How many guys have hit more than that in my group? So I believe Saramo's about the same. Barnum obviously has. Randolph has not. He hasn't hit him like that. You said Cristiano.
Yeah.
Let me see. I don't know. I'm not going to take the deal. No, I'm not going to take the deal.
No deal. Okay.
Keon Barnum's still out there, boy. You got to roll them dice.
All right. So then beginning round 2, I need another 3.
Yikes. Okay. I already pulled 3, 7, 5, 1, 9.
Yes.
So give me 6.
Case number 6 contains Jose Sermo, who hit 22 home runs.
Okay. Well, that's not spectacular for me. But I kind of have locked in on what the goal is here.
Yes.
So give me case 2. And I feel like this is where it goes wrong.
Case 2 contains Cornelius Randolph, who hit just 11 home runs.
I was so sure that was going to go bad. One more.
Yes. Who is your last case this round?
Remaining, I have Barnum. I have, where are the other?
Currently on the board still have Cristiano.
Yep.
You have Austin Dennis. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, and Case. Yeah. And you have Keon Barnum, obviously. How can I forget Keon? So you have Cristiano, Barnum, and Dennis still out there. You obviously don't know the case numbers, but yes.
Yeah, that is a wide variety there.
Yes. Yes.
Well
Cases 4, 5, and 8 remain on the board.
Okay.
Need one more.
I'll go 4.
Case 4 contains John Cristiano, who hit 26.
Okay.
That's before he went to York, by the way. He, I assume, had a few more when he went to York, but
Cristiano.
Cristiano.
God, get it together. It wasn't great, but I know what my goal is. And now talk about this. I can have 5 home runs or 41. What's my offer?
Let's see here. I gotta make it a decent offer here, so that way you're like tempted. Let me look through the board here. Yeah, right. I will give you an offer that is, I think, still pretty fair here. I will offer you Anthony Brocato. If you'd like to know how many home runs he hit, I can tell you that.
29.
That is correct. 29 home runs.
Yeah. I pulled it fast on that one. Oh, man. So the math says my expected number of home runs based on the probability I currently have is 24. You're offering me 29. The math says I got to take this deal.
Yes.
But I like to roll them dice. You know what? You know what I'm about.
Give me
that 8. Give me case 8.
No deal. Okay, so
your
choice. Keep case 5.
No, I want case 8.
Can I switch for case 8?
I want case 8. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Give me
you chose to switch to case 8.
Yep.
In case 8 contains Austin Dennis with 6 home runs.
Damn it, Austin Dennis.
You had Keon Barnum in case 5. All written down in this notebook right here, Briar.
Oh, that sucks.
When you said case 5 off the hop, I was like, oh my God, this lucky son of a bitch. And then you fumbled the bag at the very end.
All right. Is it my turn to run this?
Yeah.
After that heartbreak? All right. The way I'm doing this, because Ryan's had a tough week, which is, long story short, putting him back on the job market. So in the spirit of that, Ryan took to Teamwork Online and grabbed 10 cases containing completed contracts for what are currently available jobs around indie ball. And you will pick one, and then I'm going to have you go one at a time. We're going to roll it quick, though. One at a time, I'm going to have you pick pick a case which will have a job in it, and then you have to decide if you're going to keep that job offer, you don't know what it is, or take whatever's offered as you pull them off the board, because I got some backups. All right.
Okay.
Cool. Here's what you have in your cases. Let's see. I'll try to put it in sort of an order that is relatively sort of top to bottom, I guess.
Okay.
Now, the cases are random, but the perceived quality of the job will not be random here.
Okay.
We have part-time graphic designer for the Oakland Ballers. We have a summer college intern for the Hagerstown Flying Boxcars.
I want that one.
Social media intern for the Lake Country Dockhounds. Sales associate for the Sioux City Explorers. Group sales representative for the Ottawa Titans. Certified athletic trainer for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Athletic trainer for the New England Knockouts. Food and beverage manager for the Washington Wild Things. Director of food and beverage for the Sioux Falls Canaries. And chief operating officer of the Staten Island Ferry Hawks.
Oh, God, that's a position that won't exist in 5 years.
Oh, geez. So you can, and the fun thing for this is you can weigh those jobs. Like, there is no monetary value. There's no number here. Yeah. Those are going to be based on whatever preference you got for a job. And that's what I want to find out about you here. So you take a case and I'll pull it off the board here and we'll go from there.
All right. Give me case number 3. I'm trying to read your screen, the reflection.
No. Okay. Take one case here and we'll see Hold on. Wait, I'm almost ready.
God, you don't think we wait.
I know I'm the worst. It's because I didn't.
Inflation.
I'm setting the board real quick.
Yeah. Just set that board.
Say you said case 1 is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I say is if I remember what is in what case. I don't. If I'm being honest, that's on. Okay.
Start.
So you went case number 1. Opening up case number 1, and it is a tremendous pull. It is the part-time graphic designer for the Oakland Ballers. Great start to the game for you.
Yeah.
All right.
However tempting as it is to accept that position, I'm not really looking for part-time work at the moment.
Yeah, it's fine. You can't even accept the one, but I do have an offer for you. Got a call just now. And here's your offer. Account executive for the Chicago Dogs.
I don't think it pays enough for therapy. So that's a tough one.
It is a tough one. If you decide to take a job, I will consider continuing the game. We'll see how it goes. But for now, let's just see.
I'm going to decline that offer for now.
Okay. So got a lot of good jobs on the board. Okay.
Right. Next case.
What case? Yes, sir.
Number 8. Case number 8.
Case 8. Ooh. Gonna take it. And I'm opening it. It is the certified athletic trainer for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs.
Oh, thank God. That job comes with more baggage than you think.
Oh, buddy. Yeah, not wrong. So again, another solid pull. Let's see what we got here. I'll make you a little bit of an offer here. Okay. Let's go. Ticket sales manager for the New England Knockouts.
See, this feels like one of those, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's around to hear it, did it happen? Or does it make a sound type of thing? Because, like, you're selling tickets, but to who? Like, to 200 people a night?
Whom?
Yeah, like, I kind of want it because it clearly is a low pressure position. At that
Talk about a job that, yeah.
At the same point in time, though, that just means like you have so many things at your disposal to try. And it's like, if it fails, it's like what you were doing before clearly wasn't working. So what do you got to lose? And I'm actually really tempted by that. If we were later in the game, I may accept that. I'm going to decline that, but it is tempting.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
All right. So then you're back to select another case, my friend.
I'm going to take case number 6.
Ooh, case 6. That is Director of Food and Beverage for the Sioux Falls Canaries. That was probably one of the better jobs out there, by the way. Just
Yeah,
like from
like
a
number 4 for
standpoint
me.
of level. Okay, interesting. Let's see what kind of offer you're going to get here. Yeah, fair. I think I might take it down a little bit. We're going to go marketing and promotions coordinator for the Great Falls Voyagers.
It wasn't Great Falls.
Did I already apply for this job? Maybe.
See, it's the kind of job that I would take. But Great Falls is like,
you're a coastal kid.
That's the thing. Gonna be like Rocky Mountain or something, man. Like, Colorado, I'd probably take it. Great Falls.
What job do you think you're hoping is in that case, by the way? You got social media intern, food and bev manager, summer intern, group sales rep, sales associate.
Either Washington or Staten Island, I'm hoping for in that case.
So the Washington Food and Bev or what was the other one?
Or Staten Island.
Or Staten Island, the COO. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Staten Island solely because of location. Washington because I think they have great upward mobility.
Oh,
and I think the organization as a whole is extremely well ran. And that matters. I'm going to decline the offer, partially because I want to keep this going, partially because, like, man, it's really in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Make your own fun type of situation.
Exactly right.
So case-wise, you got 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, and 10.
Give me 9.
Okay, 9.
This is where it goes south.
It is COO of the Staten Island Ferry Hawks.
Okay, not great.
Tough one. That's probably going to hurt what deal you get. I'm going to be honest with you.
There goes my golden parachute.
Yeah, my friend. You're going to be offered the broadcasting and media relations internship with Gary, South Shore Railcats. A more interesting proposition for you than for most others.
Fair. I'm overqualified for that, though.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
and intern pay is non-existent.
I'll leave that for someone else. We're not taking that deal.
All right, so
because
let's see. What you thinking?
Before I pick the next case, which will be case 10, but before I pick 10, I wanted to point out my mindset going into this home stretch here. Either the one I want is in that case, or I'm going to pick it. Now, either way, I have no incentive to take a deal right now because either I should hold firm and hope that Washington's in that case, which I don't necessarily think is the case, or I'm going to pick it and take the job I want off the board, in which case then, what do I got to lose at that point? I might as well let it run until I find something I want.
Okay. That's fair. And you say you're taking case 10 now?
Yes, I'm taking case 10. And this is probably where Washington comes off the board.
It is not.
Oh, thank God.
It is the athletic trainer position for the New England Knockouts. And while you say you're going to let this thing run the entire way, I will at least give you an offer here. And your offer is going to be media relations intern, similar, for the Washington Wild Things.
While tempting, again, intern's a non-starter. So
it's a red flag, right? That's tough.
See, that's the thing, right? Like, if you put the word paid in front of it, then I can start to think. But without that magic word in front, no. So we got what? Case 2, 5, and which other one left here?
7. Is that right?
7. Okay.
Yeah, 7.
Let's keep this easy to remember. Case 7. I'm expecting disasters for each case poll, by the way, so that way when it happens, it's not as bad.
You said case 7, correct? I was looking at another number. Okay. 7. It is sales associate for the Sioux City Explorers.
Okay, good. That would have been a tough one, too.
See what I can offer you here. I can give you a little bit of a step toward what you might be interested in. Let me go. Maybe not. How about a Louis Pack intern for the Lake Country Dockhounds? Sounds like a party.
It's the kind of thing that does sound kind of fun at first. And like,
it'd be fun. It's all fun and games till you have to sub into the mascot costume, which I'm sure is part of the job.
This is the kind of thing where I lose my internship because some kid hears me cuss him out after stepping on my foot.
That's about right.
So we're gonna say we don't need that experience, and I don't think my East Coast attitude may be welcome in Wisconsin. We'll decline that offer.
So what we got here? Cases 2, 4, 5.
2, 4, 5. All
right. Let's see.
Let's get rid of case 4.
Case 4 is a summer college internship with the Hagerstown Flying Boxers. Oh. The run continues, man. Are we both going to go down the wire on what we're looking for? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to give you a better offer here, I think. Let's go, well, maybe ticket salesperson for the New Jersey Jackals.
Is that a remote position?
I feel like it could be, right?
Lord knows there's not many walk-ups.
There it is.
We're gonna
yeah, right.
Yeah, we're declining that one. Or declining that. We don't need that.
So you got 2 cases left on the board here. One in front of you.
Yeah.
One of them has the food and beverage manager spot for the Washington Wild Things.
Okay.
That seems to be what you're aiming for.
Yeah.
One of them has a social media internship for Lake Country Dockhounds. One of them has group sales rep for the Ottawa Titans. Would you like to pick 2 or 5?
All right. I gotta be careful here. I gotta make sure that internship comes off the board here because that's my only ticket to getting a good offer that I'd be even interested in taking. If I take you for the other ones, I'm gonna get a garbage offer. Then internship comes off the board, makes my life a lot easier. Go case number 5.
Case number 5. is group sales rep for the Ottawa Titans. So you are now in a tight spot here. Let's see what we got as far as an offer. Let's go with.
Oh, God, this is out because I took a victory lap a second ago.
Let's go with athletic trainer for the Down East Bird Dogs.
Okay, so North Carolina is not that bad.
No.
Kinston's how far from which major city?
Oh, God. I mean, it's probably an hour and a half from, maybe 2 hours to an hour and a half from Raleigh, if I remember right. If
Okay.
you consider that a major city, which Raleigh, yeah, I do.
Yeah, it counts. Oh, God, those guys would be getting more hurt if I had to work on them. But then
so
again,
you can select that job with Down East, or you can roll the dice between a social media internship and the food and beverage manager spot.
here's the problem. That Down East job is going to be awfully busy come like June with Reggie Harris as the pitching coach.
Oh, good God. Great point. You got to pass on that, man. Just from a liability perspective.
True.
I've talked to trainers who have worked with Reggie.
Yeah, so we're going to pass on that. That's a personnel thing.
Actually, yeah, that was a great call by you. Okay.
Yeah, that was
now, though, one more call to make. You got case 3 in front of you. You got case 2 on the board. Do you want to switch them or do you want to keep it?
Before I answer, I just want to point out the reason why I left case 2 and 5 for the very end was those were the only 3 cases I thought about picking from the get-go. I was like, 2 is normally my favorite number, but I like 3, so go 3 at least 2.
Twinsies.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, and knowing that 2 is your favorite number tells me that it could very well be that you put the bomb in 2. But also could be absolutely.
Are either of these that, to be fair?
An internship
it's not the COO
is kind of
job, and it's not the part-time graphic designer for the Oakland Bowlers job.
At the risk of...
I'm sorry. Hold on.
Yes.
Real quick. I just got a quick call here. How about a manager of partnership sales for the Joliet Slammers instead of either of these cases on the board?
Here's the thing. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Joliet's what makes it interesting.
Yes, agreed.
Because Pinto knows how to run the baseball side of things, and I have full confidence in him. And the ownership group with Joliet is very interesting. I just don't really like sales, but you can get over that. You could use sales to jump off, do anything. But, and the thought creeps in my head to where you're offering me this deal because Washington's in my case.
No, you've been moving on from your decisions pretty easy. That commitment to the case, I think, could be challenged. And I see you're already kind of reeling with the, do I keep my case or trade my case? I like to make it worse.
If I take this and I find out that Washington's in that case, I'm going to be pissed. However, if I don't take this and I keep my case, because I'm not going to switch it, I'm going to keep it. If I do that and it's social media, I'm going to be so pissed. So the question is...
Yeah, I know how you feel. I literally just did that.
I know. God. The question is, do I value Washington that much higher than Joliet? And I don't think that answer is yes, so I'll take that deal.
Take the deal. All right.
The deal with Joliet.
Well, congratulations on your new position as manager of partnership sales for Joliet Slammers. Oh, man. What are you going to be doing? You're responsible for full sales cycle, including prospecting, conducting needs analysis, presenting, and closing new business opportunities with a consultative sales approach. The manager of corporate partnership sales will be directly responsible for generating revenue through the sale of partnerships, ticketing, hospitality, and other custom-built corporate sales packages. Do you like the way I rolled that up? Let's see. What was in that case, my friend?
Going in case 3.
The food and beverage manager for the Washington Wild Things. To be fair, I think there's more earnings potential doing partnership sales for Joliet.
Oh, there absolutely is, but I also feel like you can move up a lot quicker with Washington.
I had one more Washington job I could have offered you too, but it was part-time as a bat boy. It didn't get that desperate.
Lowest of keys, would have thought about that.
I know you would have. So I didn't offer it in the beginning. I was like trying to lowball you in the beginning to be like, better keep going. But then you had like a good pick in the beginning, and I was like, you might take that bat boy offer, honestly.
Be like, God damn, can I get like a golden retriever to do the bat retrieval?
We should do this just like once a year on like the job cycle.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, honestly, I thought that was a fun game to play.
Honestly, I'll bring it back if I need to. After being told basically I was getting fired today, I did take a good bit of time to create a custom calculator based on how things went to know what to offer you. So I'm already set up to do this thing. So maybe another time. We got anything else today?
No, we don't. We just had Deal or No Deal to end it. So about, I think only about an hour and a half long show, but still pretty solid, I think.
I got to go on a Grand Junction rant, and I acquired roughly 5 home runs from Austin Dennis. You got a new job in Joliet. Let me know how you like flyover country out there. I know you've had some takes prior.
It's going to be a little rough.
Local prison. Love it. Big one.
Big Blues Brothers. In fact, we're going to have a giant SNL banner right against there. And every Saturday night game, DFPA announced it's going to go and live from Joliet. It's Saturday night. And they're going to come charging on the field.
It's kind of amazing.
You think so?
Yeah, I love it.
But yeah, so I thought it was a good game. If y'all agree, let us know. There'll be plenty of off-season episodes to do different games and such. So, on that note, why don't we go to the plugs?
Yes, sir.
Take it away.
Indie Nation on just about anything, podcast platforms, Instagram, YouTube. I have a bunch of stuff that I'm like looking to finally finish and get posted. I'm also kind of indecisive about what I want to do. A lot of it, in all actuality, if you're with a team and looking to make a hire, reach out, DM me at Indie Nation, because it is pretty apparent that I'm about to be looking for employment. By unfortunately, no fault of my own. If I get fired, I like to earn it. So, maybe keep that in mind. In the meantime, your boy got to pay a mortgage. But other than that, with that, I guess I'll say I'm not entirely sure what content's going to look like moving forward, because I kind of need to be attentive to some other things. But also, I might have a bunch of time on my hands. So just the other night, I sat down and kind of made a big, like, sort of map for once of what the long term. There was never been a plan for Indie Nation or ALPB Roundup. So I never really thought to make one, and this was the first time I actually thought about long term. And then this happened, so I don't know if I'm committing to the bit or not. But who knows what's coming out in Indie Nation next? Potentially a welfare check.
What about the newest venture you're going to undertake, which is Bucking Wild, a series into the professional bull riding scene?
It's actually amazing. I'd pitch that too.
I know.
It's pretty great. I'll call it Grand Junction.
An American love affair with America's pastime.
Beautiful.
So last week I mentioned that there's going to be a content schedule sometime this week, meaning the week that's now probably passed. Hopefully on Friday, that schedule went up. If it didn't, I'll give you the general consensus from which I'm currently working with, which is once a month you're going to get an article, once a month you're going to get a video. I'm thinking the 15th and 30th of each month, you'll get one or the other. So keep it nice and simple, and we'll run that until the start of the season. And once we get to the start of the season, then we will adapt as necessary there. But you'll get more specific details when that schedule goes up. The schedule will be up on the social media channels, which will be at IndieBallPod on Twitter and on Instagram at IndieBallReport. You will also find IndieBall Report for Blue Sky, which I don't post on, but we grab the handle because you got to sit on your handles. And I believe Threads cross posts too. I hope it has been. I don't know. But yeah, So Indie Ball Report everywhere that is not Twitter, Indie Ball Pod for Twitter there. So yeah, Q&A episode next week too, by the way. So
Oh yeah, hype.
if you haven't gotten the questions in, get them in. I believe we're sitting at about 17 or so right now. So an all right number, but I'd like to see if we can't get like another 8 or so in there. If we get to like 25, 30, that range, then I feel real good about it. So yeah, that's about all I got. So until next week, for the penultimate time in the year of 2024, don't forget to play ball.